Well, let's talk about harm reduction. We're getting reports. When I was preparing for this show, as I said, a lot of questions came, a lot of messages. Getting reports of a 10-year-old meth addict showing up at a health facility, a 16-year-old having a serious infection from using shared needles. What is being planned for the young generation, starting from the school system? As the Prime Minister had said earlier when we spoke to him, need to check bags now. Or what about sniffer dogs? What are the plans?
Well, Vijay, talking about harm reduction, in a bit of a confined way, the lead agency that looks after harm reduction for government is really in the Ministry of Health, but includes everybody. An essential part of the committee is the Ministry of Youth and also the Ministry of Education. That's because of the children. And it's said. Now, because this is kind of a whole of nation thing, and I admit, and then we all know, this is beyond government. So the responsibility then of institutions like the Vanua, and in that regard the Buwale, the family, is essential to this process. Is essential to this process. When you receive a report whereby a child, has been discovered, with drugs given to that child by their parent to go to school, one wonders. One wonders. What is the motivation behind that, Some of us are very quick to point fingers. But, we discussed in our forum at FNU, one of the biggest questions is why? Why? This is a question that cannot be answered in a sentence, because it is big. So why are children indulging in this? Government has got its own initiative under the Ministry of Education to be able to try and prevent it, to stop the harm. But we cannot control what goes beyond outside school hours when the children are with their parents. When the children are being left alone. There are calls for police dogs to be taken to school, like as we see during the Coca-Cola games. It's a drastic response to this crisis. And even with the police dogs, people were still bringing in drugs. I mean, what is that telling of our community and our people? You see, children who are supposed to be with their parents are still on the streets. Government, through civil agencies, are trying to help these people. But I think at the end of the day, it calls for society. We need to spend time with our children, Vijay. Parents must prioritize their children. They must put them at the top of the pecking order. Now, that simple thing, like when you come home and you stay home. You don't go out drinking grog. Yes, doing one more responsibility and the law to and all that is good. I'm not saying they're bad. But I'm saying the primary responsibility is their children. Children, when they are left unattended, do their own thing. Children who are supervised don't get to do it. So, government is willing, through harm reduction, to work with the Ministry of Education, through Ministry of Women and Children, through all its agencies, including the one more, the Tauke, the Tauke Ministry, Ministry of Multi-Ethnic Affairs, Women and Children, and the lot, to work together to find a solution that will make sure that our children are being protected from drugs. It's as simple as that. But it calls on parental responsibility, Vijay. I cannot emphasize this further. Because once the children end up in school, you expect them to live the ways of how they are brought up at home, full stop. Full stop. This is important. So you cannot, I remember, when I spoke at FNU the other day, I said, all of us in this room, including parents, this issue of drugs that we have, we first must acknowledge that we are part of the problem. If we cannot do that and say that it's government's problem, that is the law to the Vanua, you will never get this issue sorted. There will be more children under the influence of drugs. So really, as government, I'm calling on parents, be parents. Be parents. Be parents first. Look after your children. Spend quality time with your children. And I will continue to say this, and I will unashamedly call it. Because if the family is good, then nothing of this is, Parents come home, wait for their children when they come back from school, or even if they're working, go to the home and not go anywhere else. And the chances are less for children to go do their own things, without parent supervision.